This video demonstrates classes in C++, and what we're going to do is develop a program that builds a database of people. And we're going to start by using a class, and we're going to have this class be named person. And inside of this class, let's have some data. So what data will we have for this person? Let's have a first name. We'll make that a string, and an age as an int, and we'll have the occupation. Okay, so we have our class, person. So we can declare person, p1, and we have some data for p1 that we haven't assigned yet. But before we do that, let's compile, make sure we've started off just fine. Oh, we have not. What's gone wrong here? So we have line 16, which is here. We have an error. New types may not be defined in a return type. That's a bit confusing, but this next line, we have a note. Perhaps a semicolon is missing after the definition of person. Aha! Yes, at the end of a class, we need to have a semicolon. That's a useful note. So let's save and recompile and run the program. Okay, things are looking up. So let's go ahead and assign the first name to be Tina. We'll compile. We get an error that fname is private. For the class person, which is here, fname, which is here, is private, and that's true. And we can't directly access the data for a class's private variable, so what do? Well, we create some kind of accessor functions. So we'll make them public, some public access. And what will we have? We'll have set fname. So that'll be a good start. And we'll pass in a string, which will be the first name, fn. Okay, and now, can we just use that function? Let's see, I'll try passing in the string. So we've got p1, which is the class person, and we have a public function called setFname, and we're allowed to pass that function a string, and so we're doing so. And let's see if all goes well. We have an undefined reference to person setFname. Turn 1. You know, we've declared setName, but we have not actually defined setName. So I'm going to copy and paste fname and I'll return here. And so what are we actually wanting to do? We're wanting to set fname equal to fn. So whatever we pass into the function, which is fn, we want to assign that to the private data fname. Okay, let's compile. We have an error. In function void set fname, fname was not declared. Fname is not declared. Why is this not declared? Obviously, I've declared it in my class. But this function is not actually a member of the class. I need to add to the front of the function name the class name followed by the scope operator. And that tells the compiler that this function is a member of the class person. Okay, let's compile and execute. Things are looking okay. No more errors. But have we actually set the data? I'm not sure. What we can do is we could print from here. So let's go ahead and do an output statement for fn. And we'll do an output statement for fname. We can see if we actually get to this part of the code. So fn is Tina and fname is Tina. That's pretty good. What other testing can we do? Not a whole lot. So let's next output from the main the first name. So can we just p1 use fname output this way? No. For the same reason, we couldn't just assign the value because fname is private. So we need a function that will print fname. And we're going to make this function constant because we do not want to inadvertently change the value of fname or any of the other data members inside of the function call. And so that's why we have added const to the end of print name. So once again, we need to tell the compiler that this function is part of the person class. So I add the person followed by the scope operator in front of the name of the function. And it's a type of void, so we don't return anything. And finally, we just want to output the first name. That's all we want to do. Let's compile. We have an error, which is that fname is private on line 11. And line 33 is out context. I'm still outputting fname. I can't do that. We need to instead just call the function print fname. There, let's try that. And we have printed Tina. Cool. So we have set the value, and then we have printed the value for the first name. And that's a really good start. So what can we do next? We can create a function that will set the person. So we'll pass in the string fname, the int age, the string occupation, and create that function. Again, it needs to be scoped to the person class. And all this function is doing is setting the fname to fn, age to age, and occupation to awk. Cool. So let's start a second person, in fact. Okay, on the second person, we will set person to be Frank, the 23-year-old college student. All right, how's that work? Let's compile it and run. We have Tina. Okay, and what about if we wanted to just print the fname for our second person? Let's compile and execute, and there we go. We have Tina, and then we have Frank. So it looks like set person is doing pretty well, but actually what I'd like to do is just print the whole person. So I'm going to create a function, print person. So it'll print all the information. Again, it's going to be a const. I don't want any of the member values to change. So these data types, I don't want them to change, so I'm adding the word const so that I guarantee that doesn't happen. Additionally, we need to make sure to add in the scope operator to tell that this function belongs to the class person. And since our return type is void, we have nothing to return. Now, what do we want to print? We want to print that the person's name, so for example, Tina, is a age, year old, occupation, period, and line. Let's give that a try. So I'm going to replace, for Frank, I'm going to replace the printing of the first name with the printing of person. So Frank is then some number, year-old college student. Whoa, that is way off. Where is this number coming from? I told set person to give the age of 23. If we look in set person, we have an age 23. Oh, so we actually have a parameter named age, but we also have a private variable named age. So which is which? Apparently, the default value inside the memory location for the private member variable age is being stored inside of age. And so what we need to do is change the parameter to be different from the data member. I'm going to change that to be ag. I guess that's short for age. All right, let's run this again, see if that fixes the problem. There we go. Frank is a 23-year-old college student. Yes. Okay. Now we could easily preload a whole bunch of people into this. So we could set person and print the person. So we can have Tina, 47-year-old plumber. We could add in a few other people. I'm going to just clear out these guys. We could make a third person and a fourth person. The third person might be Jim, the 17-year-old high school student. And we could have Tobias, the 52-year-old data analyst. All right, let's compile, run the program, and there we go. Really good. Thank you.